All right, so let's move now to Netflix for a bit, right? So let me talk about Kanye West, boy,
Right.
for a while, right? So the first of a trilogy of documentary films, or I should say features, dropped last week at time's recording here, right? Called Genius. It's
Yeah.
called spelled, sorry, Jeen-Yuhs, right? Which is a very Kanye thing, right? You know,
It was the dog's name, I think.
it was okay. Shit, I
I
didn't
think
even
so.
know that. Wow. Okay,
Well,
right.
it's all in his first apartment when he was very young. That was the dog. They used to call the dog named Jeen-Yuhs. I think so.
Okay,
If I
okay,
remember,
okay,
if I
okay.
remember correctly, yeah.
All right, I didn't know that. All right, well, look at that, right? Yeah. So all right. So when I first saw the trailer for this, I was excited, right? Because all right, well, okay. So a little context, right? I have talked about Kanye West quite a few times on this program here, right? I did a anniversary review of the College Dropout. I actually talked about Jesus is King, the album when it dropped. I went to IMAX to watch the god awful short film for that album, which did not work for me at all. I even talk about Donda when a week after it came out, right? I talked about it. So I mean, but just to get this out of the way, I won't call myself the biggest fan of Kanye West, the artist, or Kanye West, the man, right? But as far as artistry goes, as far as music goes, yeah, he is hands down one of the most iconic, most influential figures in music, regardless of genre, right? I mean, his college trilogy, he was pretty much shaped the way how I looked at hip hop back in the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
And of course, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that was one of my top 10 favorite albums of the 2010s, right? So I mean, his impact on music is on the seat. I mean, yeah, I mean, it can't be denied, right? But with that being said, though, and this is how I have to approach this, series here, right? Uh, there is still the celebrity Kanye, right? There is the,
Right.
I'm
As
divorced
I say,
now
you have
from
a distinction between the artist and the artiste. You know
exactly.
that bullshit, right?
Yeah,
As
yeah,
a
yeah.
From his work, like, look, I love him for his production stuff. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
look,
Okay, okay. So not as a rapper or nothing.
not really, because that's the thing.
Okay,
A lot of
okay.
this
I find
documentary,
you'll drop like especially in his early albums, he
he
dropped
has some
some
lyrics.
bars, bro. Yeah.
No, he had bars, but still, not really that great. I mean, he ain't as bad as somebody like Puffy or anything like that. But you know, he
Puffy,
still was never really that impressive ultimately for me. But as I say, artist versus artist is his production stuff great. I look, what do you call it, Diet Coke right now, right? Diet Coke
Oh
is
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
goddamn fire beat, right?
Jeez, but yeah.
So yeah, I'm listening to him still. But then him as this, he trying to do this big art thing, and he had the film with the woman with the swan
Oh,
and all of that.
that's for my beautiful dark twisted
Yeah, all of that
fantasy.
bullshit. Like I don't really care about that bullshit. Like, to be
But the
honest,
album
right?
was great, you didn't need an 8-minute film to
Yeah,
promote it.
me need that bullshit, right? He
Yeah.
good as a production guy. He really shines as that. That's about it, to me. But then all the extra stuff that really unnecessary. But we go talk about that in the documentary.
Yeah. Right. So what right. So for me, right, and I have to bring this up with this show here, right? I imagine with the other two episodes going forward, right? Is this issue right now? Because I mean, he is no stranger to controversy, right? He's no stranger to pissing people off, right? But now with what's going on with him, divorce from
Yeah,
Kim Kardashian,
right. And the whole thing with
and
Pete,
now, yeah, Pete
which is
Davidson. So
Pete
now Kim
Davidson,
is
right?
with
Yeah.
Pete Davidson, right? Kanye was with Julia Fox for reasons, but now they split up because
Well,
for reasons. Um, but there's a way how because all right, so at the time it's recorded here, I believe in 2 days' time. I could be wrong, but then again, it's Kanye, right? He's a man who just push release dates anyway, right? We're supposed to be getting Donda 2, right? Which
right.
everybody asked for. Everybody asked for Donda 2, right?
Apparently,
Remember the last album, well, the deluxe version clocking at 2 hours now. So imagine how long Donda 2 is gonna be, right? But yeah, in 2 days we're supposed to get to that, right? But point is, with all that going on with that, is this back and forth on social media. He's saying he and want oh well, Kid Cudi's not gonna be on my album because
right.
he's
That's
friends with Pete
stupidness, yeah.
Davidson, and he putting up conversations he having on friggin' WhatsApp or whatever it is
Right.
with his ex thread. And she coming and saying, dude, why you putting this up online? Why you putting this up on IG for people to see, bro? What you doing?
Yeah, it's that
And
embarrassing
it's just
nonsense.
this childishness about,
Yeah.
oh, you with Pete Davidson and, you know, what Billie Eilish say about Travis Scott and all this stuff at Coachella. It's just all this back and forth thing that's just so goddamn toxic, boy. It's just to the point of just like, you know, why should we take you seriously now? You know what I mean? But you know, it just looks really bad on him, Jay, because I was rooting for the man to at least have a stable relationship with Kim and you know the kids now, but like I guess it didn't work. You know what I mean? But you know, some people will come out and say, well, you know, it's his bipolarism, and you know,
Right.
he's
No,
not right. But it's like, no,
yeah,
no,
it's typical.
something is. It's attention. He's attention whore right now, Jay. Sorry.
No, it's a typical problem involving, mental health and using that as the excuse for your shitty behavior. And like, yeah, but that shouldn't really be the excuse for any kind of bad behavior, to be honest. And yeah, it getting to that typical nonsense, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is him, how much you excuse that, what you should take seriously, not. And the simple fact is that he's a person who never, and I'll say, he never processed his mom's death. With this documentary, you totally you see that, right? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
man, just like everything was, he's super connected to his mother, and you
Yes,
totally
yeah.
understand why you'd fall apart if he when she gone, and that is exactly what
Yeah.
happened. Like, that's
Right. So
too much.
right, but I want you to do the synopsis for just a brief synopsis of what this episode are about, right? But this last thing I want to see though. So with all this that going on with him and taking shots at Pete and trying to get Kim back because you know for the kids and I still love you, all that kind of stuff though. Now all this looking even worse now because his album's supposed to be coming out in 2 days' time. And this show, this trilogy is going on like right now, so
Okay, so that's the whole
it's
thing
gonna
about.
be pretty difficult now, especially for people like who you know who still loves his music now to kind of go into this now and be like,
Okay, so this
but yeah, but
it,
still this Kanye now doing all this shit now. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
I don't want to say it's bad. Actually, I'm gonna say it. It is bad timing, you know what I mean?
So
As far
to
as
me,
this documentary,
no, to me,
this docuseries dropping.
it's the exact opposite. So is what you're looking for with respect to Kanye as a personality. This tries to humanize him a lot, right? Tries to. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Dave Chappelle doc from last year, right? Again, that's the trouble with the transgender thing. And now he does do this documentary that's actually pretty good and well done. In terms of humanizing him, kind of same
Yeah.
thing. But
Right.
what they do with it in this is that they make it's supposed to be like Kanye West's last dance, right?
Yeah. That's a
which
good
is-
reference point there. Yeah.
Yeah, which kind of ironic given the Chicago game, right? So, but
Yeah. But what is this this Act One about? Vision. That's the name of it. Act One.
It pretty
Vision.
much focuses on Kanye coming up as a celebrity. The big central conceit of it mostly was wanted to be taken seriously as a rapper, right? Not just
Rapper,
a producer,
yes.
not just a producer, but just as a rapper. Him putting himself out there lyrically, and that's about it. It's nothing more, nothing less than that. And then they focus on the central conceit of him with his mom, right? A lot of time he spent with his mom, how much he was, how close he was to his mom. They have a lot of that. And then, it does another focus with the guy who created it himself, right? The actual documentarian involved, right? So this person
Yes.
who just do a bunch of material, where they come from and why, they play it out like as it is. Why they make it work for what it is as just documenting, hip-hop in Chicago, in Southside, right?
Mhm.
That's it. And just focusing on all the behind the scenes stuff involving Kanye, and a lot of that stuff I've seen before, right? And I'm surprised we didn't get more Dave Chappelle stuff from Chappelle's show. To be honest, we got
that's true. Yeah, because he was there twice actually. One time with Common,
also, yeah.
the next time with where he performed 2 words with Freeway
Right.
and more stuff. Yeah.
Right. I'm surprised we didn't get much stuff involving what do you call it, by Deaf Poetry, right? I thought we would have gotten that.
Yes.
He was on that as well. But that's about it. It's just him pushing himself up. He becoming the new member of roc-a-fella. Him connecting to Jay-Z. We got a little bit of that, nothing too much. But most of it is in the context of, we're not taking Kanye West seriously. And again, because of the nature of Kanye West, especially knowing his public career, how much of it is because everything is from his perspective. He's not really
Yeah.
that reliable of a narrator, to be honest, right? And that make a lot of sense, but it still frames him as a reliable narrator. And I suppose with an emotional state, you could tell one way or the other, right? And that's about it. I was surprised how much attention I paid to this, right? I was actually quite engaged.
Me too. Yeah.
To be honest, right?
And as a come up story, like we love come up stories. Like for me personally, I was just enamored at just seeing, just that come up phase that like, oh yeah, you know what I mean? I moved from Chicago to New York, you know what I mean? I'm selling beats and trying to get my foot in the door and, record labels. I want to get with roc-a-fella, but they still up a deal. So I try and Capital, I try and Ruckus, and I was digging all of that.
Yeah,
go on.
Yeah. So that's how I felt about most of it. It's just, okay, we doing this come up story, him from scratch kind of thing, and it boiled down to whether or not you could tolerate this or not. Like if you're into that hip hop history aspect of it, it's solid, right? It's fine actually. I didn't hate any of it or didn't really mind what he was trying to do or say going forward. It was just fine. I had little to no problem with any of it as it is. The problem is that in the context of Kanye West, it feels a little weird and disingenuous, right? Knowing his own history and his life, and I couldn't really get into too much of it as it is. But yeah, for the most part, I dug it. I had no problems with this in that sense. It was actually much better than I expected. As a conceit, not as good as the juxtaposition of Dave Chappelle, two big projects last year, but still pretty good. Again, problematic, aging Gen X black man, in the context of in modern context, and then how to frame him back as a relatively human figure. That's kind of the idea. Is it a puff piece? Can't tell. You'll only tell with time. Not sure, right? That's about it. Moving on. It as our first episode, I enjoyed it for what it is, but it's clearly to the bias and towards Kanye West's, audience, right? His fan base who still like him and whatever. That's about it.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. Well, for me, I made a joke. Well, not even a joke. I just made this point on Facebook, on Twitter. I was saying, while I was watching this, I was thinking about, just the old Kanye, straight from the soul Kanye, right? And yeah,
right. That's what it was. Yeah. A lot of it was that. And
through the entirety of this.
A lot of people was hinting that he might try to do like Donda, going to totally be a callback to his earlier stuff. All right.
Donda 2?
Donda 2, right? That's what I heard. Like, that's the rumor. And the rumor is to kind of market, his own nostalgia, right? He's going to try to tap into that. I'm not that excited. But
I don't think he's going to do that. I think it's going to be a literal repeat of what we got with the first one. This mixture of gospel music, but with, contemporary hip-hop. That feels going to be the same thing.
The thing is, I only hype for Pusha T album, which has Kanye West in it. But I heard that we get a lot of Neptune stuff. So that's why I hype for that. I kind of already
cool, even better. Yeah.
Right. That's why I'm more hype because I hear Neptunes and Pusha and them coming back together. Like, all right, well, that's our first day by it. Well, I'm moving on. It's not a Pusha story we're talking about. Documentary wise, as a first chapter, I was impressed how much I enjoyed it. Like, it actually kept my attention as much as it did, mostly because the other guy's story, the filmmaker himself.
The filmmaker. Which that hit me though, because there's a moment at the end where you talk about, this is why I do this. This is why I was so committed to this project in the first place. It involves this family, and that was really heartwarming for me. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, despite my intro, I actually for myself really enjoyed this as well though. It took me back to late 90s, early 2000s hip hop. This was the period where I really became a fan of hip hop anyway. I don't know, I just love just seeing that grind, just seeing that hustle, seeing Kanye in his apartment in New York with his friends playing Jesus Walks, and he was playing All Falls Down. He's playing the original version with Lauryn Hill doing the hook, you know what I mean? Just I would just...
And there's little moments and little people in the background you see. It's like, oh shit, that was blah blah blah, and it's like, oh, like I know Oskino and Sparks there.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they watch
they had, but when they show young Bow Wow, this was before
Tiny Bow
even
Wow,
put out his song, his debut in 2000. I was like, what?
I know, but have remember the girl who was the violinist used to do stuff for him in those
Oh,
days.
right.
Benari,
Oh,
which is
Ben
Israel's
Ari. Oh,
something.
yeah, I loved it. She was fine as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
There's all this
Even
little
have
kind of
a
music
moment where you see young, you saw, well, of course, you saw Jeezy. You see
Ace,
young Beyonce too. I'm like, what?
Beyonce,
Hey.
Mace,
I laugh when I see Pharrell, by the way. I'm like, dog,
Pharrell,
even in
right? Yeah, looking the same.
2001, this guy
And
looked
looking the
the same,
exact same.
Oh, no, or was it
Vampire.
2003? I can't remember. I think it's 2003, whatever.
Man,
Guy
he's a
still
god.
look the same, though.
Yeah, he's a goddamn vampire. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. So just seeing that period again though, and it's funny because it's with Mini DV. How I know that because every time when you press record, you always hear this ding. So when I hear that, like the users transitions, I'm like, okay, I like this, right? But yeah, just taking us back to that, just showing us that grind though, because it's those things that you hear about in interviews, and maybe you might see a little clip or two somewhere, but you just see like as much footage as they could fit in this hour and a half thing there. You even had the clip that opened the Through the Wire music video with the homeless woman doing a little dance and asking for food, right? They show that.
And then
The
the end of the Through the Wire video when he joined Roc-a-Fella is the exact same clip.
Right. During the Dynasty tour, they show that too. So yes, I mean just the footage and just all that. I was loving all that, Jen. I just hearing the just seeing young Kanye. This running gag with him wearing retinas. Which I thought was funny. Even have a moment where Scarface is like, wait, what's that you have there? Retainers, dude, we had that name. Put that in your mouth, bro. Like, wait to it.
Right.
But yeah, just seeing that grind though, like, talking about how he wants to put Chicago on the map, and the biggest rapper to come out of Chicago, honestly, was Common, right? And I mean, yeah, so just see that hustle there, and I love stories like that. I love to be motivated by stuff like that. See how people work hard. Again, I would make the argument, because a music industry exists, that's how he was able to succeed. Just seeing, but no way. Even if it didn't exist, though, just the mere fact that he went this far to do what he did do is very, very inspirational. There, even have a moment involving him and almost having a little beef with one of his producer mentors, basically.
Right.
I didn't even know about that though.
I didn't know that story. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And how that resolve was really heartfelt as well too, because that's where Donda comes into the story as well too. And yeah, the moments with Donda are very, very sweet though, and you can really tell just how big, just how strong of a relationship they had together, right? Yeah. So yeah, this was a great opening to this trilogy though. That being said, I'm not really sure where the rest of the story is going to go. I think it may go as far as like see the early 2020s. For all we know, because I don't think that they're going to stick with the 2000s. They have to go into the 2010s and at some point in time, I don't know.
Exactly. Well, it's whenever your mother died, I feel like, because that to me is the big turning point in this career, right?
Yeah, that was the late 2000s actually when Donda died. So
exactly.
I guess that might be in the next episode, I guess, right? But with that being said, though,
yes, I surprised they didn't focus so much on the car accidents the motorcycle.
No, well, they hint that it's coming. It's coming in the next episode. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, they reference it in this. He done past that point because Through the Wire out, so it's like okay.
No. Well, no. Well, this was before Through the Wire. No, believe it or not, this was before.
No, but he didn't pour the album.
No, not yet. Not yet. He got signed, but he just had a few songs on this bill. But he didn't work. He was okay. He was working on the album, right? Okay. But it wasn't done as yet. He didn't do Through the Wire. So the accident didn't happen. But near the end, though, where they were showing credits, that's where they were hinted that, like, oh, okay, well, like in the next episode, that's where they show the accident. I was surprised that wasn't part of this episode. Now,
right. I was confused with the time.
Of how the character of Kanye West came to be there because of the accident, right? But it was weird, right? So anyway, I guess you'll see that in the next episode, right? But that being said, though, I still find like, I guess it's unintentional on the part of Netflix and the guys behind the scenes, right? Who make this film and decide to put it out on where Sundance, this year's Sundance Film Festival. The timing is really, really off though, but I know it's not their fault though. It's just because of Kanye toxic bullshit that he doing online, but And heaven knows where that is going to go over the next couple weeks,
Exactly.
especially with this album scheduled for release in 2 days' time, boy. But with this
I'm not
documentary,
excited for it, but
well, it's 2 more hours, right? It's another epic we're gonna get, right? But yeah, anyway, but yeah, boy. And for I know, I probably might review it. Who knows, right? But yeah, this is a strong in beginning to this trilogy here. I'm really not sure where the rest of it is gonna go. I hope that it maintains that strength. It may fall apart, easily. Who knows? We'll see. But I still say, yeah, check it out, man. Especially if you are a Kanye fan. If you like the old Kanye, Street for the Soul Kanye, this will be right up your alley.
right.
If you just want a reminder of how great and humble, as he would humble he was back then, yeah, give it a look, man. But if you just genuinely hate him and hate what he stands for, and you think that he's changed, to the point of no return, and yeah, I imagine this episode, I guess the trilogy itself is not gonna do you, is not gonna make you change your mind at all, man. But again, it's just the timing of it all. It's just so unfortunate. But if Kanye just shut him out for like 2 weeks and drop the album and stop picking at Pete Davidson. And speaking of which, though, Saturday Night Live's supposed to be coming back from this Saturday coming. So I'll curious to see if Pete will say anything.
I'm making a prediction. Chris Red gonna be playing Pete Davidson. Sorry, gonna be playing Kanye West.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, that's what that's
before when it was.
Yeah, he did it before. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised they're gonna make a sketch out of it. Whoever.
Yeah, boy. Like they go in at a SNL alumni trend. They had to do something. They had to clap back somehow, trend, or make a reference in Weekend Update or something. I don't know.
Oh, right, because that guy, he was part of the bullshit too. This is his name, Michael Che.
Oh, Michael Che, yeah.
Yeah, because I think Kanye wanted him to quit SNL and he'll double his salary or some nonsense like that.
Oh, by the way, before we move on, in one of Kanye's tweets, right, he's saying that because Disney owned Viacom ticketers, right? Well, or at least he owns NBC, right? Pete Davidson is a planned trend, so. He purposefully come in between Kim and him now to mash up the marriage because Disney want to get rid of Kanye. It's crazy, right?
So I don't.
Whatever.
It's hard for me to care. As I say, if he was played out from Fire Music, at least I could have get that. But Donna was kind of trash though. So I don't know what's your point. Moving on.
There's things about Donna and things I don't like, right? But I reviewed it, right? Whatever. So yeah, I just keep my fingers crossed that these other 2 episodes are worth it. I just hope that Kanye just doesn't get into any more shenanigans that will make me hate this whole series. Because I really, really want to support this thing. I really want to like this thing and continue liking it, right? Despite how Kanye is acting right now. But still, overall, strong start to the series, and yeah, for sure we will be checking out the other 2 and reviewing them in the subsequent episodes.
Right.